Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a new recording called the Kurt Weill album. It's not an album of anything. It has to have a title. Everything has to have a title these days. But it's not. It's Symphonies 1 and 2 plus the Seven Deadly Sins, which is a wonderful collection of things. But it doesn't even begin to suggest the range of everything the Kurt Weill did. I mean, it's okay, never mind. It's the Kurt Weill album with the Konzerthausorchester Berlin under Joana Mallwitz, who's very, very good. I mean, she sounds terrific. And you've got this lovely picture of her trying to look profound and serious here in music, which is profound and serious in spots, but also light and witty and sardonic and modernist in places in the first symphony. So let me take you through the program. First, you get Symphony No. 1, which is in one movement and which is a gnarly post-Reigerian kind of Honegger-like, chromatic bit of orchestral meanness. I like it. It's colorful. It's fun to listen to. It's not terribly long. It's 24 minutes. Weill never really revived it in his lifetime, but he wrote it and it's good. It's nice to have. It's like, it's early Weill, like early Shostakovich, if you want to think of it that way. Experimental, modernist, but full of talent and promise and worth getting to know. Then you have the Second Symphony, which is one of the great 20th century neoclassical masterpieces. It really is. It's in three movements, the central movement of which is a sort of a funeral march type thing. It's a remarkable movement. And on either side are sort of fast, motoric, brittle, very tuneful, vintage Weill with that wonderful bittersweet melodic quality that he always captured. It's sensational. And this performance uses the percussion parts, yes, which, as I said before, were original. They were not. They were suggested by Bruno Walter before the first performance because he conducted it, and he said to Weill, he said, "Kurt, baby, throw in some percussion. It'll be more fun." And Weill said, "Sure, I agree. It'd be terrific." So he wrote them later, and as a result of that, musicology got in the way, and published the first version anyway of the full score without them because they weren't originally included. But they were written and sanctioned by Weill, and they should be there because they add so much character and color to the piece, and you hear them very nicely here. Now, there have not been many recordings of the Second Symphony in its final realization. The only other competition, I think, that I can think of that at least compares with this one is Anthony Beaumont on Chandos, where you get the first two symphonies, and instead of the Seven Deadly Sins, you get the pantomime. The quodlibet, pardon me, not the pantomime, the quodlibet. That's the thing. At least I think you get the quodlibet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And which is the suite from Zaubernacht, actually. And it's a very good disc. It's really a very, very good disc. Beaumont is not always the most thrilling conductor, although he is a wonderful scholar of this period, and Zemlinsky particularly. His recordings have been a little snoozy. And he once yelled at me for saying that in a review, but as I said to him at the time, you do your job, I'll do mine. This performance of the Second Symphony is rather more exciting than Beaumont's. At least it has more vividness. I think it's better recorded. There's not a lot interpretively to be done with the Second Symphony, or even the first for that matter. They're written in, like I said, in this sort of neoclassical style, where if you get the tempos right and keep everyone moving, it's going to sound fine. And it does. It does. They're very, very good performances. They don't reveal anything particularly noteworthy about the conductor, but the performances are very good. Now, the Seven Deadly Sins. This is the original version with soprano, and the soprano soloist is Katharine Mehrling, or Katharine Mehrling. I don't know, from whatever country she's from, with the vocal quartet, doing their vocal quartet thing, and they sound just fine. Now, here's the deal. It's rather funny, actually, that you have Katharine Mehrling as Anna 1 and Anna 2. Anna 1 sings, Anna 2 dances, so we're not going to see a lot of Anna 2 here. She only says, "Ja, Anna," twice in the entire piece. So there you go. Now, the original soprano version is nice to have. There have been many recordings of the original soprano version too. I mean, Julia McGinnis did it, and Anna Celia did it, and lots of other people did it. The piece is best known in the version for lower voice, which was arranged by the Weill conductor. What was his name? Bruckner Rugeberg, or whatever his name was, that guy who conducted the Lotte version. He did it for Lotte because Kurt Weill originally wrote the piece for Lotte, who was a soprano in 1933, but when she recorded it at the end of the 1950s or early 1960s, whatever it was, she had become an alto, or mezzo-soprano. So it was written for her. But I actually tend to prefer the lower voiced version, and the reason is because there is nothing about the vocal line here which is soprano-y. It's written for a singing actress of whatever stripe. And so a singing actress can do it in the way that the singing actress sings. If you take it down a notch, it loses nothing because the vocal line has no brilliance. It's all parlando, or a little bit of singing, as in a musical, for example. So you can do it up, you can do it down. It makes absolutely no difference. And my favorite version, which we've talked about in the Greatest Recordings Ever Made series, is with Gisela May and Herbert Kegel. I mean, an iconic recording that has a world-weary, lyrical bittersweetness that nothing quite matches. And this doesn't match it. It doesn't. It's a good, straightforward performance. It's well sung. I mean, Katharine Mehrling is quite good. She really is. And everybody else gets the job done. So there's nothing wrong with it. And it's nice to have, and it works nicely in between the two symphonies. So on the whole, this is a very enjoyable Kurt Weill disc, I would say. And, the Konzerthausorchester of Berlin, whatever the hell that is, plays perfectly well. So I'm all for it. And I think the title is stupid, but that's okay. Just know what you're getting and enjoy it. It's a very enjoyable recording. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me, and take care.